What's going on, New Gamer Order? This is Alex Lexus, the man, the myth, the juggernaut, coming at you with a video. I've been trying to absorb a couple of things that's been happening since the release of Crackdown 3. Now, me as an Xbox guy, I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer. I was Team Scalebound. I would have pooled all my resources to Platinum Games and Scalebound before Crackdown. I even said on one of my podcasts when we used to do them that I didn't want Crackdown. I wasn't like, a real big fan of it. I mean, it's a fun game, but it's not perfect. Like the series, it's very niche. It has a very unique or specific audience that it's trying to tailor itself to. So I'm not white knighting in any sense of the word, but I want people to understand that this trending bash Xbox shit has to stop, because it's at a point where you got people who haven't even played Crackdown 3 giving it reviews or trashing it. Fucking play the game. Play the game. Now me, what I did, I went and I got Game Pass for about 3 months just to kind of see. Now this is coming from an Xbox guy. Alright? I play on multiple, like between Steam, PSN, and Xbox. But even me, I'm not going to say that the game is perfect, but it's far from horrible. Alright? I played the game last night for the first time. Now, a lot of folks, Crackdown does a lot of what other games do. Some of the other games do it better. Alright? So, with that being said, you have a lot of issues that occurred. There are games that go through development hell. It's, in some cases, I believe the game should have been canceled. Again, I was Team Scalebound. All the resources that they put into that, and the game is dated. That's like technically a 4-year-old game that should have came out when it was supposed to, but for whatever reason, the cloud technology wasn't, it was overly ambitious, and sometimes what Sony tends to do is play it safe. Play it safe. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel, which is what gets Microsoft in trouble. So, Microsoft, learn from this. But those of you who are unjustly bashing the game without even having tried it, matter of fact, I'm going to call out one individual, MBG. His fucking video is trash. He is fucking garbage. He lost all, I unsubscribed from the guy. He sat there I don't need to play it to say, fuck you, man. That's some dumb shit. And then this is the old Juggernaut coming out. I hate that shit right there. Because the guy can't even fucking make a judgment for himself. He lets Metacritic and freaking IGN dictate what he should feel about the game. I didn't listen to any of the reviews. I'm like, hey, to me, it felt like, an open world Infamous or Hulk Ultimate Destruction. It's sandbox. Honestly, it feels like a scaled back GTA or something. You're like, to me, again, it's not my cup of tea, but it's far from a horrible game. This asshole's out here like, oh, I wouldn't even pay $1 for it. That's extreme, bro. That's extreme. The game is not as horrible as people making out to be. But, again, I'm not going to defend it because I wasn't for the game initially. But you see, the narrative is Microsoft doesn't care and so on and so forth, which I believe is far from the truth. I just think that, again, this was under the old umbrella, the old hat of Dan Matrick. That fucking idiot pretty much put Microsoft under that storm cloud that's just never seeming to yield, But, again, MBG, I unsubscribed for your channel. Your video was this unfounded, unneeded bashing of a game that you didn't even fucking play. Trash. That's the stuff that sears me to the bone, because you got some stuff where they're only ripping on games like Crackdown, but like I said, Microsoft, they did struggle in the exclusive department, because whatever Dan Matrick had, that map or whatever that Phil Spencer had to clean up, it's like, man, they really were hemorrhaging that reputation that they don't put stuff out. I highly believe that that's not the case. Again, for you guys that don't believe me, how come Ori doesn't get put to the forefront? You know what I mean? Games like that, I'm sitting here where, you know what? They do have some titles. They do have some cool, like, low-budget indie stuff out there, but they don't see the light of day. Microsoft, fix your approach. Push these games. Like Cuphead. Yeah, you know, it's old school retro stuff. You're exclusive. But why aren't you pushing that? Yeah, they're out here ripping on Crackdown, but they have some other things to offer. But then, yeah, Sony kept the formula right. They did a lot of countering. In Microsoft, all they did was like, hey, I'm trying to swing for the fences. They eventually turned into DC in trying to catch up with Marvel, where they just Marvel paced themselves. Microsoft, get your mojo back. You did so well with the 360, and you see this like unreliable you know, I wouldn't say unreliable, but someone who pretty much, like, anything he says, that MBG guy, it's like, you know, he lost credibility with me just because, like, he wanted to hold back and don't pay any money for the game. Look, there have been worse games than Crackdown. Let me tell you that right now. And to all the folks that are going to come in here and like, oh yeah, you know, because it's picking on the redheaded stepkid that's at the school because it's the thing to do. It's a damn shame that that's how it came, you know, the gaming industry. And you see, I'm an old head. I've been gaming since the 80s. You know what I mean? There was a time where, you know what? It was just a balance of things. But you new generation, like all this, like, you know, it's easy to rip on something because other people are doing it. Grow a fucking brain. You know what I mean? Get some couth about you. Make your own assessment of things and not be impressed by IGN or Metacritic. Again, I'm not a fan of those styles of games, and you know, I'm playing it, I'm enjoying it, but I mean, it's not as horrible as people are making it out to be. Again, it was a victim of development hell. They should have had their shit together.